So if you give me an opportunity, maybe I could kiss that thing tomorrow, you know? Okay, I'm gonna give a quick disclaimer here. I'm sitting here at September 13th, 2023. Ask me when this review is recorded. July 28th. I've been sitting on this for a month. Why? Only God knows. I don't know. You'd think after my first video on this show being the biggest one on my channel, you'd think from a business standpoint, I'd try and capitalize and like propel myself even further. The smart businessman side of me would be like, you know what, this would be good. As soon as the show ends, record this, post it. It may or may not be a banger, hopefully a banger, right? But then the person side of me, the person-to-person side of me was like, you know what? I don't care about the numbers. I care about the craft. So I'm gonna do what I wanna do. And when I get to it, I'll get to it. And that's exactly what I did. Throughout the duration of the video, I'm probably going to insert like different parts here and there. Like if I feel like something needs to be edited from when I did my review, I will either state it or just go on like nothing's happening. But without further ado, the Oshi no Ko review. Okay, I'm gonna start this video by getting this out of the way. Aqua is not the new generation Light Yagami. And I know that was the title of my initial review to this show. And a lot has changed since then. You know, after actually finishing the show, I wouldn't say his character is really comparable to Light Yagami in the way that I thought it would eventually be compared to, at least right now. But I'll probably get more into that as this video progresses. But if you haven't seen Oshi no Ko Season 1, there will be spoilers. And yes, after that first behemoth of an episode that sent the internet into a frenzy, we see Aqua and Ruby, teenage years, growing up, and then they apply to this performing arts school. And obviously Ruby's going in with the intentions of being an idol. And then we had Aqua going in. He's just there to support his sister and kind of monitor and helicopter parent his sister, basically. And we see them both get accepted into the school and meet up with the girl who I had beef with, Miss Wendy, the girl that could cry in 3 seconds. She's instantly like drooling over this guy. And that's what maturation does. I think I said in my first video that she would be coming back and that she would have a respect for him, because he did humble her in her early age because she thought she was the shit. Talking about like, if your biggest feat is being able to cry in 3 seconds, I'm sorry, you will not make it in this world. It's not something to be proud of. It just means that you have trauma. I'm just gonna say it. See, I don't even want to get into it because there are tears already streaming down my face. But no, so we see her and she seems to actually be a nice girl. Following home from school, asking him out to karaoke, the dude says no, and then she's like, okay, how about my place? If Aqua doesn't go get his fucking sleeping bag, man. I don't know how others were in high school. I was never really approached like that. You know, I would definitely say high school was not favorable towards me. Like, I wouldn't even approach myself. So with that being said, it's like, if I got an opportunity like this in high school, I would have spent the week over there. But no, so after that, they go back to the director's house and they're having this conversation. And I guess they're just catching up. We see her asking him to be a part of the project that she's starring in, that she's a lead in. He initially declines, but then he accepts her offer because I think if I recall, he heard like a name that sounded familiar about it. I think the director used to be affiliated with A. He's like, all right, sign me up, whatever. Find out that her show is flopping bad, horrendous. Like, this is one of the worst shows on television right now. And the thing I was starting to like about this show, and that I do continue to like throughout the rest of the first season, it's like how accurately I feel like it relates to like the real life industry, because this is a live action series based off of a manga. So then we see Aqua and Kana going back to the karaoke bar discussing like his role in the show, and she's talking about how the initial work was skewed from the direction it was initially supposed to go because the director just decided to change it up and then have like bad actors portray certain characters and change up the story a little bit. And we see that happen with a lot of live action manga. And it's like the reason why I was initially under the impression that this nigga was gonna be like Light Yagami or like a villainous sort of character, it's because he's studying film back at his house looking at the script, and then he's seeing how Kana is acting with these D-tier actors, and like that black star comes out of his eye, and I'm like, okay, he's gonna pull up to this set with a real knife in hand or some sort of deadly weapon and catch like an assault charge. When he's having these monologues, that's how I'm thinking he's about to start acting. When he pulls up here, he has the intent of stealing the director's DNA to run a DNA test on him to see if he's his dad. Aqua's putting on a semi-lousy performance, and he's not doing his best work. Like, we know once he actually gets into character and feels the intent to kill inside his soul, that he could actually put on a performance of the ages because he feels how he's acting. You know, it's like if you make a wrong move towards him, he'll put a knife in your fucking neck. There's an intermission Kana's talking to him about how his acting feels like that of someone who's put in the work for a long time and that she personally likes it. And she's talking to him like this is making me smile. She has matured so much at this point. I'm honestly happy that she can cry in 3 seconds. And honestly, I hope it's 2 seconds now. But Aqua's supposed to be playing this robber. And this scene, so good because he's using his environment to his advantage to help not only himself in this scene, but just to help like all the actors as well perform better. He's using these puddles from the leak in the roof and purposely stepping on them. That girl is not the girl you think she is. A girl like that is not going to be compatible with some bitch ass nigga like yourself. And it's like, and he starts taking personal blows. Like he walks up to him, whispers in his ear, you know, dead ass up close, you are one of the ugliest niggas I have ever laid my eyes on ever. What on earth did you just say? Are you deaf? I said this girl isn't worth protecting. And Kana is looking at Aqua act and she thinks that this is her husband. This is a callback to the first episode, but it's like opposite. And she's very impressed with his performance and it's kind of motivating her because his whole goal with this was to just make her be able to have the opportunity to shine and really pop off. Nothing you do will ever make a difference. What is he doing? The performance Aqua's putting on, MVP caliber, he's carrying the fucking scene right now. He's even got the fucking prop out, licking the shit like a Orochimaru, but it's the fact that they actually start fighting. He charges him with the knife, but goes under his arm and actually goes for Kana, and the nigga swings on him. And Aqua ate it, he's smiling. And Aqua is violating this man's whole career. Hey, jackass, get your head out the clouds. You have no future. You are nothing. Everyone around here is like, did we pick this nigga up off the streets? Is he? And I just want you to know that not only will this girl never love you, no female will ever even look in your direction. He has the cameramen sweating because they think they're next. He's just gonna be throwing strays at everyone at this point. And then we see Kana bring out her special technique, and I'm applauding. I was looking at this, I was happy. I was happy to see these tears. I was like, that shit was fast. And I was hoping for 2 seconds, but she hit this shit in like 2.8, so that's still better than the 3. After Ayana Koji's little brother pulls up again, he's like, Aqua, my fault. I think my punch connected. That was completely on me. Nah, you're straight. I lean into that shit. And it's like acting's all about giving into your emotions sometimes and really just letting loose. And I'm glad that you did that because you actually put on a good performance for once. And it was just like seeing Aqua throw himself around like a rag doll, licking the knife. It was like, you don't really expect his character to do that since he's always like a calm, cool, collected, introverted type of dude. He gets invited to the after party and then he meets the director and he makes a deal with him that if Aqua decides to join his reality TV show, then the director, after it's all said and done, will give him information on I, aka his mother, because the director didn't end up being his dad after the DNA test. But no, so they head back to school and we see Ruby go to her first class and she sat next to this bodacious Sakura hybrid with like a country accent. And Ruby searches her up. We find out that she's a pinup girl, and then we meet more of their classmates when they're outside with Aqua, like this girl. I guess they're going to school with a reptilian. So then Ruby's having a meltdown about how she hasn't started her idol journey yet, and then they decide to form their own group, and then that Kana will be the first other member of the group. Ruby's begging back and forth, and then Kana declines because she doesn't believe in her skill, and this just starts to become a common theme with her throughout the rest of the season. She just doesn't believe in herself. But this man Aqua pulls up doing what he does best, gets down on one knee like he's about to propose. Please be an idol with my sister. I can't, I couldn't be I'm not even cute like that. I couldn't be an idol. No, but you are dramatically cute. And it's like, I wouldn't just ask a nobody. I wouldn't ask someone that's ugly. And it's like, you see me on one knee right now, girl, I would happily propose to you right now, but you know both of us can't do that right now. We have bills to pay, we have careers to make, and this is just not the right timing for us. So I'm just saying one more time, I'm begging you, please become an idol. I can't, please, girl. I said no. I'm gonna ask you one more time, don't force me to wink. I swear I don't want to, I swear, please. Okay, fine, but only if I can kiss those lips. That's the only way I'm doing it. So then she signs the papers. She joins the little idol group, and we see Aqua get ready for his reality show. And this reality show ended up becoming such an important part of the season in terms of like not only meeting new characters, but for Aqua's development and seeing how Kana responded to like some of the things he was doing on this show and how his sister responded. And I do like how in this show they reference like YouTube, TikTok, and they don't like use random platforms like YouTube. So that's also a cool little thing. But we see Aqua doing his show, getting cordial with everyone, and we got this girl with the black hair talking to him, and then she's kind of flirting with him a little bit, all up in his ear like, the couples from last season kissed, so if you give me an opportunity, maybe I could kiss that thing tomorrow, you know. But this girl's on her shit. She knows camera position. She knows everything about the layout of what's going on. So she's been in this position before, teasing this man and everything. She had him looking up at the sky, pondering what the fuck's even going on. We meet another girl in the cast, Akane, and I guess she comes from a very like prolific background of her acting school or acting academy that she went to, and it's a very well-known place. She's sort of like an outlier on the show. I really enjoy seeing like how certain things affect certain characters, like this situation when Akane is trying to go talk to her manager, and then I guess her manager's manager is in the room scolding him because she's not getting enough screen time, about how he could have chosen anyone else to do this, but he chose her because of her background, and he's like really grilling her. And then we see that this is just like the start of her downfall. When we see her on set trying to make it work with one of the kids and just try to have this nice dialogue with him and actually get herself integrated into the show, that girl that Aqua was talking to just pulls up and takes this kid and is trying to go show him something. So it obviously had her like discombobulated a little bit. We hear her say in her head, she's like, I've got to put up a fight. I didn't expect her to actually physically assault the girl, bro. And it was a little scratch, but like in a second you see like how even just this little act leads to a fucking storm of just comments and posts about her and just everything, and it really related to like how shit goes down in the real world too. But the other girl got scratched, she's really a professional and she seems like a very down-to-earth girl. There are people who that would happen, they would be like, oh, you fucked me up, you made my face look bad, but she clearly sees how drastically this is about to affect Akane, because you could just see it in her eyes. She's about to have a mental breakdown, but she goes and gives her a hug and she's like, all right, calm down. So she's a good friend. It was nice. It's just nice interactions like you enjoy seeing. And she's like, you could just fix this type of shit up in Photoshop. It's not even a big deal, which is true. And it's like the internet, especially, people don't understand that. They see Akane hit this girl with a sword slash of her fucking nail, and then they think she's like an America's most wanted criminal. And this scene specifically, it was a controversial scene. I saw some people saying they shouldn't have included this, but I feel like this really just shows how the real world is sometimes, especially in this social media space, because we see her getting comments like, apologize by dying. It's like, people on the internet swear they're so hard. It's the funniest thing, because I actually got a comment like 20 minutes ago, and I figured I would say it here because I thought it was just funny. Dude said, I'm irritated with your whole existence. I was just talking about the show. I read the comment and I started laughing because people just say things. I feel like this whole Akane scene was actually really good to just give some insight to those people who decide to type away on their fucking computer and can't even take a real life comment if someone's saying some shit to them face to face. And we just see her getting sucked into this. She keeps looking up her name and then it's only negative stuff, and then she's just scrolling, and then she's getting caught in the trap. If you're not a person who's ever received like any criticism to that degree, it's like it could really mess you up. But no, so we see her walking in the rain. It's sort of like she got taken over, and then luckily Aqua was there to save her last second, and I deadass thought she was like going over, and I thought it was done. So it was nice to see like her go get help, and then all of her friends kind of get together and just be like, why didn't you tell us this and that, and like really be there for her. And it was good to see. So then Aqua and them try to formulate this plan to get the footage of like her and Yuki making up right after the incident happened, because they did cut the cameras. The way they go about it, it's very interesting, like these little side conversations that Aqua will be having with the directors. So do you have that footage of Akane and Yuki making up, or was I just imagining things? I couldn't possibly give you that because that would be against the rules of the show. I can't do that. Well, you do know you're like pushing damn near 50, keeping this quote unquote classified footage of minors, right? It would really be unfortunate if this footage just so happened to get out. We didn't force Akane to do anything. We just happened to be there to record the incident. So I mean, I don't think we're the ones that are doing anything wrong, really. Listen, bitch, I don't know if this is gonna get through that thick ass skull of yours, but I'm gonna reiterate one more time. We're all 16, 17-year-olds. You guys have families and children. So if you're gonna hold this footage and not protect the kid, by all means do it. I'm actually begging you at this point. No, please. Please keep this footage. I'm really hoping that it just does not get out. Damn, nigga, you're kind of right. I'm gonna be honest. Like, it took all that convincing from Aqua just to get this dude thinking straight. So then they post the scene and they show them making up, and then obviously, like how the internet does, they switch up on her instantaneously, and they're like, you know what, maybe she's not that bad. Have dudes in the comments now talking about like, damn, she is kind of thick, isn't she? That's how quick it is. So then after that, Aqua's kind of giving her some pointers, like talking about how he kind of acts a different part just for the show itself, so his real image is not really put out there like that. Aqua, what's your ideal girl? My ideal girl, let me think. I need a girl with a face and not an ugly one. You know, that's number one, I'd say. And I need a girl with a smile that could just light up the room, put a stick of dynamite in there, flashbang, whatever the fuck. Like, I need that type of smile. Everything about her basically needs to be perfect. So, and then we see this girl Akane doing it, and this is why she was, I think, nominated for a Golden Globe. Because she is researching this girl up, down, left, right. She's learning every single mannerism, every performance, every dance move, every food that she's ever even eaten. They go back to set the next day. He walks past her. He's like, all right, let's get this shit rolling. Activates her fucking Byakugan. She said, Aqua, this nigga's spidey senses start tingling. But she starts walking up to him with this like model type of strut. And I knew it was over. She had this guy looking at her like he just saw God. He's terrified because his star in his eyes is shining brighter than it's ever shined before. And they started playing that outro with it, and she hit that. I was like, oh, this is her final form. This dude started simping bad though. It was actually kind of gross. Girl in the back asked him to grab the pouch that is literally right next to him. He's like, I'm thinking about something. Give me a sec. Akane says, it won't even take you that long. Just get it for her. He didn't even think. He just did. He acted. They got the nigga blushing. His whole character that he's had going on has completely jumped out the fucking window, like with him just being hard. Whoa. With him just being cold at all times and just very calm, cool, and collected. Got the girls asking him if he likes her, and then he's blushing, putting his hand over his face. He's sweating. But after Aqua reevaluates and kind of has some time to sort of think about how he views the situation, how he views his mother and Akane and all that, he invites Kana to skip school with him. And I'm really hoping that they end up dating or something, because she seems like the best. She just does. Yeah, but then they eventually get to their final episode, and then Aqua and Akane, I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but get a fucking room, please. He pulls up to her, he's like, and I don't know what he said here, but it was something, because it was damn near bringing a tear to her eye. The star in her eye went out so fucking fast, and she's about to start bawling real tears because she thinks this is the man she's about to marry. That's the type of game this nigga spitting on reality television. And then they go to the after party, and he makes it clear that he's like, honestly, this is just like a little work relationship. He's like, I don't really have time to date like this, but I am very interested in you as an actress. And that alone is what made her kind of light up. And that's all she really needed to hear after the whole like incident and all the shit that's been going on. They're now like on this platonic friendship dating type of thing where they're only dating for the public eye. But he's walking home with the cat ear girl, who I guess her name's Mem. I know I didn't really talk about her that much. They were having a little talk about how she was doing the YouTube thing, and then like how she started on TikTok. She was kind of explaining my journey, but she explained to him how before she did what she did, she wanted to be an idol. And then that's when he invites her to join the agency, and then they have their group set up now, the newbie Komachi. And it turns out she's like 25, so she's like a myth. But after this thing, now Aqua's basically the talk of the town. All the ladies want him, and we see the newbie Komachi just practicing. And I know Ruby knows every single disc tape that they've been studying like the back of her fucking hand, because she's been dancing this shit since she's been reincarnated. But no, so Kana's upset. I'm pretty sure it was like about the kiss, and Aqua's like trying to be nice to her, try to talk to her and do whatever, and she's been ignoring him. And he's saying shit even like, if you keep this up, even I'll be hurt, and I don't even get hurt like that. And that sounded genuine, you know, that sounded genuine. And I think that's why I like his character. It's because he still has that sense of morality, and he hasn't completely lost himself, at least at this point in time. You know, he's just trying to maneuver his way to the top, but it doesn't seem like he's doing it in a way to where it's like he's gonna be arrested. And with the idol group, they're trying to figure out who's gonna be the lead singer. We find out that Kana was like the second coming of Beyonce in her youth, and she had like a #1 Billboard single back when she was younger, talking about like Brussels sprouts or something like that. The other song that they played, other than like the vegetable song, that was actually like a good anime ending type of song. And also with the bird dude training them, giving them Goggins type of workouts, running up hills, doing this and that, it actually ends up being Aqua under the mask while the dude's out on vacation, because obviously Kana's not really listening to Aqua right now and responded to him. But now we are at the last 2 episodes. I was excited for the performance, I'm not gonna lie. But she sees that Aqua's the man under the mask, and she's sort of in shambles about it. She's like, oh shit. She just starts doubting herself and like everything she's ever done, basically just reevaluating her whole life. And then she happened to catch Ruby at the point in the day where she's at her strongest, which is golden hour. That's for a lot of characters. And she gives her some sort of motivational speech to snap her back into it. Listen, Kana, I don't know how your acting career's been. I don't know how your singing career's been. I don't know all the ins and outs of that. All I know is that both of us in this situation, all 3 of us actually, we're all rookies. They're lined up, they're waiting for us 3. And it could easily be us too if you're gonna be a bitch about it and stand on the sidelines. If you want to do that, that's fine. We'll just have to figure it out, find a third member. But one thing I do know for a fact is that I'm not missing this performance. And if Matt wants to hop out of this shit too, I'll happily perform up there by myself. And this shit will be a single. So then obviously she sways her. If Ruby's calling me a bitch to my face, I'm getting on that stage too. And I'm singing the fuck out of that song. And so I guess I'm assuming that this is a thing that they do in Japan with like the little glow sticks that correspond to like one of the idols in the group. So then I think it was Ruby had the red one, Mem had the yellow one, and then Kana had the white one. So then if we look in the crowd, we were only seeing yellows and reds. I was hoping that Aqua would be in the crowd and just like stick up the one white one and just hold it there. And it would give her like this fucking nasty ass confidence boost. He had all three equipped anyway, so it was still gonna be motivating regardless. But the song that they were playing, I was in my seat and I was bouncing up and down. Soundtracking this show is great. It's so good. It's so good. When Aqua held that white glow stick up, I was turned up. I'm not gonna lie, because he started going crazy. I would have been doing that same shit. And she gave him a little wink, and he got a glimpse of it. He was like, oh. Like, it was just a good scene overall. But no, so after that, Aqua and Kana are talking again. We see Akane and Aqua go on this date for like their public dating image. And Kana pulls up because they post it. And this is rule number 1, especially if you're like a huge internet personality. You can't be posting pictures of your location while you're there. That's something you're supposed to do after. So then Kana pulls up on them, and then we find out that they have beef. They just start going fucking off on each other. How many years has it been since we acted together? Because I thought you called it quits. I thought you hung that shit up years ago. Because I guess that they all got this role for this movie or this TV show coming up that both Kana and Akane are like leading female roles in, and that Aqua is also involved in. And then Kana just takes a fucking personal shot at the girl. Yeah, no, that's straight, but wait, hold the fucking phone. Aren't you the same girl that was just on that reality dating show? And then you were dating that really cute guy. I think his name was Aqua or something like that. Some weird shit. And then afterwards, you thought you guys had like a real deal connection going on. And he told you straight to your face that I don't even see you like that at all. Not 1 inch of that man was loving you. I could have sworn he said some shit like he was more in love with your acting abilities than you as a person, which is crazy to me. They're about to bang out right in front of Aqua. It's different with girls. Like if that was some guy shit talk, there would have definitely been fists thrown. But I feel like with girls, a lot of the time, they'll talk shit. Worst case scenario, it's like they'll start pulling each other's hair. But it's like they also have that history with each other, and I'm sure both of them don't want to make a bad impression on Aqua. So that's probably why they were reserved. And the season basically ends with Aqua getting that role in that film, with them two having female roles where like one of them's gonna be his lover and the other one's gonna be like another love interest that's gonna try and take. And I know I didn't really get like too specific into it. I'd have to assume that watching this video, everyone's seen the show, and I'm also late to this shit too. But I mean, no, with this show for me, it's like after watching the first and second episode, I was like, oh, okay, it'll probably be like a C-tier show and I'm just gonna watch it because it's like everyone's talking about it. After genuinely sitting down, paying attention, and just enjoying it for what it is, I really did enjoy how it felt very, very organic in terms of how it corresponded to real life and how it was sort of also providing some life lessons about this industry space. Or not life lessons, but like I guess tips and just information on it in terms of the ins and outs and like how some people really view the shit. It does show a lot. Everything like applies to like real life, and I thought that was really cool because I think it does it in a very real way. The intro and the outro too. Like I'm not trying to hate on it. It's like there's some openings like River and Hell's Paradise and those, and I just have to be real with myself. Those aren't going to be anime opening of the year. It is going to be this show. I feel like that was set in stone from the day it fucking dropped. If there were to be one close, I think it would just be the Jujutsu Kaisen one, just because it does have that hype around it. Animation, I don't know what studio did this shit, but it was fucking phenomenal too. It was a very enjoyable watch. For the most part, I think I said everything I wanted to say about it. And if I were to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10 for season 1, I'd say 8.5 altogether, just because I think it did everything I wanted it to do. It kept me entertained and I was engaged the whole time, and I was constantly interested in what was going to happen next. I feel like if it was 24 episodes, it would have probably gotten that 9. I just feel as if we weren't able to dive deep enough into like Ruby's side and Kana and like the whole newbie Kamachi. Like they talked about it and it was a talking point of the whole season. Like obviously he was recruiting members and they were getting that organized, but it's like all they did was train and then do their performance and the season was over. It was good though. It was like good entertaining setup, and that's why it's an 8.5. But no, so that's the Oshi no Ko review. Hope it was a good time. I had a good time with the show. If you stayed till this far in the video, I appreciate it. In terms of my next review, I was thinking of starting Eminence or Zom 100. Since Zom 100 has an inconsistent schedule right now, I'll probably watch like a couple of the first episodes of Zom, make a video on that, and then with Eminence, I'll actually like finish through season 1, make a video on that eventually, and then probably like either after season 2, midway, whenever I get to season 2, then I'll make a video on that one as well. Oh, and Mushoku. I think Mushoku drops its last episode for the first half of the season this week, so I'll be making a video on episodes, I think it's 9, 10, 11, and 12. And yeah, so that's where we're at. I guess put your opinions in the comments. Appreciate you for watching, and yeah, that's it.